All right.
Oh, the recording didn't bug out this time. That's great. It happens. It happened at least once. Let's go.
All right. Are you able to screen share, Colin? Okay.
You guys seeing everything right now?
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
All right. So this is our product update for Sprint 1 for our time tracking software by Team 63. I am Colin Clark. I'm the project manager of the team.
I'm Addison Farrell. I'm our team Scrum Master.
I'm Natasha Grady. I'm one of our engineers.
And I'm Jason Guan. I'm also one of the engineers for this project. So as of right now for our project, we currently have added the login and the sign up functionality. We also implemented for the passwords, the encryption and the ability to check the credentials of the users. We also have connected the database and the back end along with the front end. And we also started working on for the database. Also, for this project, as of right now, we have added the ability to look at the user profile. And also we have Azure who wants to look at what projects they have been assigned it to. Now, as of right now, this is our Kanban board. If you click on the link, it will take you to the page where we currently have the board and the tasks that we need to implement for our project. As of right now, we have a few sketch features. There are 3 sketch features that we want to implement. There are 6 product backlog features that we want to implement. Currently, we don't have any sprint backlog features that we want to implement. And in progress right now, we have 2 features out of 3 that we want to implement as well. And so far, we have 3 tasks on the Kanban board that we have completed.
So as far as software testing, right now we're using Postman kind of to check if the backend and all that's kind of working with our database. So right now here's like an example here. I have like our local host 3000 is like our server port. And then the API users is like one of the routes pretty much. So if you put that route into Postman, then it'll return a status of 200 okay. So it's returning, going to the database, querying it, and it just returns pretty much a users table is what it's supposed to return. And right now we just have nothing in users table, so it just returns an empty table. But that's kind of like our software testing we have set up is Postman. So like when we start adding more tables and I guess more routes, we can use that again to check if it's getting the stuff and storing it, if it's posting and all that, just to make sure that's working. So that's what we have for software testing. And I guess another way for software testing that we want to implement later is like probably I would say the JWT tokens for like who's logged in, just to keep track of like who's logged in and all that pretty much, and making sure that people can't access information if they just put in like a link pretty much, like if they try to put in like admin, like a link for admin that they can't access as if they're not admin. That's kind of another thing for software testing that we're going to be working on coming up. But yeah, that's what we have right now for our software testing. So, oh, can you go to the next slide? Okay.
All right. So for our sprint 1, I'd say we did a pretty good job about meeting our goals. So this is a list of our original outline for what we wanted to get done. And we were able to get a lot of things working in some capacity. One thing though is that for our sprint 1, we implemented the database functionality a bit after the front end. So a lot of the stuff is not fully working with the database. But for instance, we do have somewhat secure method of login. We're using the bcrypt hashing library, and we've been testing that, and it seems to work well for our purposes. Profile creation and deletion, we do have all the front-end elements of that, and it is working with a non-database implementation. Mostly we've just been using a just like a table of users, not like an SQL table, but just an array basically. And so that's how we've been able to test some of that. Now, for the project side, we did not have a great implementation yet for our projects. We do have examples ready right now, but we plan to tackle the rest of the project-based stuff for the backlog in our sprint 2. Next slide, please, Colin. Thank you. So we haven't changed our estimations much for the sprint 2 from how it was originally outlined. We still think a lot of the story points are fairly distributed. Personally, I think the sprint 2 will move a lot quicker than sprint 1. In sprint 1, there was a big learning curve to learning all of the technologies. And I think going into sprint 2, now that we have a lot of that information and experience, I think this might actually go faster than anticipated. So I'm confident we will meet our backlog expectations for sprint 2.
All right. Now we're just gonna go to the PowerPoint real quick, just to show a little presentation of the React app that we have right now. So right now, this is the login page for when you start up the app. There's the login, and then if you're an administrator, you want to create an account, you can sign up to create an account. We'll do that real quick. I'll say target username Jim, password 123, confirm password 123, create an account. That should be successful. So if I input Jim 123, that should work for secure login. And just shows an example, if I put Jim and then for the password I put 1234, that wouldn't be recognized. And then right now we have our projects and user profile, and inside of our user profile you can change your password, delete your account, and create an account. So real quick, we can create an account for our client. It'll be, let's say, Sam, and their password would be ASDF, and they would be an employee, and then they can create the accounts. And then if we went back, oh, this thing's in front of my screen. How do I stop? If we just go back to the original login, we should have Sam, ASDF. They can log in, and then if they want to view projects, they can go to the view projects page where we can have this project funding, and then they can see more information. And this is all just a wireframe, but right now this is what we would think it would look like if we had the project set up. And then let me just bring us back to this and this. So that was the demonstration here. And then some issues and next steps that we have. In our repository, we have 2 branches, a main branch and a dev branch. And there were some difficulties in figuring out how to push to the non-main branch from our local branches, but we have figured it out with our strategies. And then additionally, a lot of the front end was added before the entire database was implemented. So we had to make some assumptions on how the data was going to be retrieved and how we referenced it in our front end. And then Our second sprint is primarily focused on adding the functionality of all of the projects into our software now that we have all the profiles and profile settings all built up. Our next steps are mainly going to revolve around building up a good database schema, adding time logs, and putting in time change requests. And overall, we are pretty confident that we'll be able to have a productive second sprint and deliver the project to its complete specifications. Well, yeah, that was our presentation. Thank you for viewing.
All right, everything with the presentation was good. Looked like it was reasonable amount of progress for the sprint and good plan for getting everything wrapped up within the next sprint as well. So I don't really have any further questions. Only thing left to add is yet another reminder that make sure you get this recording uploaded and submitted, and if you haven't submitted your slides, you submit that there as well. One note on Zoom recordings, I'm not 100% certain. I think it saves the recording to your computer when the Zoom meeting ends, as opposed to when you leave the session. If that is the case, that won't be until around like 7:45 tonight, because there's a long block of presentations. So if it doesn't show up immediately after, that would probably be why. So don't start panicking until like 7 or 8. If it's still not there at 8 p.m., then you can start to panic. But barring that, unless any of y'all have any questions or other things to add, we should be good.
Yeah, thank you. I think last time it did save the recording immediately after
Did
we left
immediately?
the
Okay.
meeting. So I
Okay,
think that should
cool.
be fine.
I think it might be cloud recordings that wait until the thing's over. That might be what I'm thinking of. I don't know. I looked it up and it was the messaging on it was weird, but whatever. Anyway, so that should be good then. So yeah, just make sure you get it uploaded, because the